Welcome to On Point, the only real and unscripted talk show that educates, motivates, and inspires. Featuring interesting topics on health, finances, real estate, education, technology, politics, legal issues, and more. Well, hello everyone. A very pleasant good afternoon. Welcome to On Point, the talk show. I am your boy, Delroy. Of course, Mr. David Houghton will be returning with us in a matter of a few days or weeks. I'm not sure yet. We got to talk to David. However, I wanted to come here today to talk about two very important things, in my opinion. And these are Chrisette Michele's Instagram post. Of course, you knew that she was the artist who performed during the Trump inauguration and faced a lot of backlash as a result of her performing for Donald Trump. So we want to deal with that first. And my second topic I'm going to be dealing with is regarding Paul Manafort and his indictment that was announced today. All right, let's get in it. Chrisette Michele. She, of course, you all know that she performed at Donald Trump's inauguration, and a lot of people opposed to her performing at that event. And she has taken to Instagram and posted, shared some stuff with us that she was dropped from her label, she suffered a miscarriage, she went into depression and all of that stuff. Well, although my heart goes out for her and the fact that she suffered a miscarriage, I don't feel sorry otherwise, because the signs were there that she was gonna get, well, she was getting a lot of backlash as a result of her consenting to perform for Donald Trump. So that should have been a no surprise. Here's the thing. Jennifer Holliday should have performed. She backed out when she faced backlash, all right? Why didn't she do the same? Was she that strapped for cash? I don't know whether or not she was paid. I'm just assuming right now that she was paid to perform. And if that's the case, she should have found another way. Given the fact that Donald Trump was so unpopular, is so unpopular, and some of the things that came out of his mouth during the election campaign, he has upset a lot of people. A whole lot of people. Blacks, white, Latinos, everybody. And that should have been Chrisette's clue to just say, you know what, I can't do this. This is not within my dignity, or my, not my dignity. This is not within my makeup to go and perform at an event such as this, knowing the things that the guy has said about a lot of people. Some very nasty thing that any other person running for election or higher office would have been kicked out for, period. But she should have taken the clue from Jennifer Holliday and backed out from that whole event. However, she posted on social media that if social media wanted to put me down, I guess they succeeded as it pertains to Capitol and Caroline Records. I complete an entire album and my label decides to walk away from me. Capitol Records, I was quiet for a few days. I go into the studio and literally poured my heart and soul, and the label decides to walk away from me. It's not one thing. It's one thing to be a strong black woman. It's another thing to be a strong black woman who has to fight against the worst odds. I went from someone being revered and loved to facing putting out an album in the worst climate of my musical career. No victims here. I get it. But absolutely human here. How hard can you try to break someone? How hard can you try to ruin someone? How much hate do you need to spew to show me you want to see my demise? I won't stop. Hashtag strong black woman. And again, I feel sorry. I'm very, very sorry that she lost a child and that she went into depression and all of that. But I do not feel sorry that she made the wrong decision. The choice was hers to walk away after all of the backlash that 45 was facing. She could have simply walked away and not perform. So, with everything that has happened to her, I'm going to say it, she caused it on herself. Plain and simple. She caused all of that mess on herself. But in saying so, I also want to get you guys engaged in this conversation. We have a telephone number that you can call and voice your opinion. If you do wish to call and do so, the number is 347-467-1170. You can see it right there on the screen, 347-467-1170. And just call in and voice your opinion. And let us hear what you feel about this and her statement, and whether or not you believe that she should have been blackballed, if you may, from performing and also her album being released. I would really love to get your guys' opinion on that. Feel free to call in if you so desire. If not, hey, there's always another time. But looking at this this whole issue, we know that Steve Harvey met with Donald Trump. He faced a backlash. Ray Lewis faced a backlash. Jim Brown faced backlash. Jennifer Holliday did the right thing and backed out. Chrisette Michele went and she performed and is facing a serious backlash. And Tina Campbell from Mary Mary stated publicly that she voted for Donald Trump because of his Christian values. Now her career has hit the bottom of the well. Looking at all of this that went down, I would want to say that, and this is just me now, because I seriously believe that there's a double standard in all of this. And I'm going to tell you right now what I mean about the double standard that I see in everything that's going down. All right, I did mention Steve Harvey, and I mentioned Ray Lewis, and I mentioned Jim Brown. All face backlash. But it seemed to me as if their careers are still alive and well. Okay? They did not yank Steve Harvey off the air for what he said, but he came under some heavy, heavy criticism. So was Jim Brown and Ray Lewis. However, let's go to the females now. Chrisette Michele. One would argue that her career is over. Tina Campbell. One can also argue that her career is over. Jennifer Holliday. Her career will continue because she did not go and appease Trump, if you may. So there just seemed to be a double standard, in my opinion, when it comes to the females versus the males. And I'm just saying that because when I really sit down and think about this thing and did my research, my research, that's the one conclusion that I can draw. Okay? But enough about Chrisette Michele. Let's just go and talk about Paul Manafort right now. As everyone knows, because it has been reported this morning that Paul Manafort has been indicted in the Russian investigation, and apparently he has lied about some things, and he was indicted. Yeah, he was just indictment, and I guess he funneled millions of dollars through overseas shell companies and used the money to buy luxury cars, real estate, antiques, and expensive suits, among some of the charges. Also, his longtime associate Rick Gates represented a significant escalation in a special counsel investigation that has cast a shadow over 45's first year in office. Now, I am going to go out on a limb and say that if Manafort is indicted, does that mean that Mike Pence, who, as some of you can recall, Mike Pence was the one who, Manafort was the one who suggested Mike Pence as a running mate to 45. Okay? So if that being the case, does it mean that Mike Pence knows something pertaining to everything that's happening right now? Because you have to understand this. Birds of a flock, how it goes? Birds of a feather always flock together. Okay? In this case, the right hand probably knew or knew what the left hand was doing. So I am going to go out on a limb and say that the vice president knows something about everything that's going on right now. And for that reason, he was selected over, if you guys recall, Chris Christie was the one being considered for vice president as Trump's running mate. Of course, he was kicked to the curb, tar thrown all over him, and he's pretty much history. I am pretty sure this investigation isn't over. There's a lot more that's going to come out of it. But I have been saying for a very long time that this guy right here, this guy whose picture you're looking at right now, there is something about this man that does not sit right with me. And he's not the only one. The entire administration, most of them, I should say, seem to be operating under a certain level of shadiness, if you may. And that's just a mild term that I choose to use. Something just isn't right. And I don't know, man, but I feel that a lot of other things are going to come to light. And when it does come to light, or when those things do come to light, a lot of us are not going to be surprised. And we shouldn't be surprised by these things, because the writing was on the wall all along. All this time, the writing was on the wall. But I can only hope that these investigations will be fair and honest, and the true purpose of these investigations will be revealed, and people will be held responsible if they're found to be in collusion with the Russians, among other things. They should be held accountable for their actions. Also, there seems to be a lot of distraction that is taking place right now on the part of 45. Every second you turn, there's a new distraction. Every day, every minute of every day, there's a new distraction. And all of these things are wearing us down. It is wearing out the public. I don't know about you, friends, but I've had enough of all of this. But it's important that we talk about it. It's important that we read the news or listen to the news and read the stories so that you can get a better understanding of what is going on. A lot of the things that they call fake news aren't fake. They're facts. And before Donald Trump came on board during I can't believe I called his name, but I did. Before he came on board during the election campaign, there was no talk about fake news. There's absolutely no talk about fake news. Suddenly, all news are fake. All news is fake. And I just cannot understand. Then again, I do understand. I do understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to distract every last one of us from the real issues. And unfortunately, his supporters cannot see through that. If you are one of his supporters, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have questions in your head. Some of you regretted ever voting for him. Some of you are not seeing the results so far that you had expected to see. Some of you aren't seeing the care that a leader should exercise on behalf of his citizens. Some of you are disgruntled, some of you are mad as hell, and some of you are silent because you just don't know how to react to what is happening right now. But the one thing I can say is that I feel sorry for the entire country. I feel sorry for everyone because at the end of the day, it's not just the Republicans who are going through it. Democrats are going through it. Independents are going through it. We all are going through it. We all are suffering at the hands of everything that's happening right now. So we have to make a conscious decision if we are going to stand for this much longer or what do we plan to do about it seriously? Because like I said before, it's wearing us out. I am tired. I'm sick and tired of hearing all of the things that is being spewed out of the mouth of this man. Now, I was listening to a certain talk show this morning, and now there's some rumors floating around that Omarosa, you all remember her, that she may be one of the next persons to be fired or let go from the administration. And my understanding is that she's not even allowed near the Oval Office, not even allowed to make contact with Donald Trump anymore. You see, she's not liked by a lot of people, justifiably so or unjustifiably so. You guys know what's up. You watch the news and you see and you hear and you listen. But at the end of the day, I think the one thing we all can agree on is that we want a country that works for everyone. We want these politicians to put all of their differences aside and work in the best interest of the country, because that is really not happening right now. It really isn't happening. Next year, there's going to be a midterm election, and that is going to be your opportunity, your time to really pretty much show what you're made of. And this thing with this administration is that it has shown the worst in a lot of people, man. I was talking with a lady, a Caucasian lady, who said that she is quite hurt by some of her friends who blocked her on social media because she did not agree with some of the hate that they were spewing on social media pertaining to black people, Latino people, and other minorities. So what this administration has done is embolden a lot of these behaviors. People aren't shy anymore to say what's in their heart. They're spewing it a lot of times without even being agitated. So if we stand for behaviors like that, it shows, it speaks a lot about us. And if you decide to take the right side or to say the right things against such behavior, people start hating on you. So finally, I would just like to urge everyone not to allow politics to make you into something that you genuinely isn't. Don't allow politics to change you into a monster or to make you into a monster. Don't allow hatred in your heart. Don't allow yourself to be eaten away by hatred. Just do not allow it. My one hope and prayer for everyone is that you will continue to stand for human rights and justice, continue to stand for what is right against the odds. There are people who are going to disagree with you, and you will always have people disagreeing with you. But if you know in your heart that what you're saying and what you're doing, your actions are right, do not change it. Do the right thing. Stand for the right thing always. A lot of people are influenced by their peers. Because he or she is doing it or because he or she is saying it, that makes it okay. No, it's not okay. If you know in your heart that you're hurting someone, refrain from doing it. Refrain. Just stop. Thank you guys so much for watching. Know that I appreciate you, and I'll see you again next time. God bless. This has been another episode of On Point. We're staying on purpose for our communities. In all that you do, remember to keep it on point.